Let's go back to your last big argument. You remember it. That moment you were completely 100% positive that you were right, and the other person was just wrong. Now, what if I told you that rock-solid confidence you felt wasn't really based on facts, but on a story? A story your own brain was scrambling to write in real time, filling in gaps, changing details, all to make sure you came out looking like the hero. This isn't a glitch in your system. It's a feature. Our brains are literally hardwired for storytelling. For millions of years, being able to create a clear story from incomplete information helped us survive. It's how we made sense of the world, formed communities, and dodged danger. But here's the problem. That ancient, powerful instinct is now being systematically used against you. Every single day, your brain's storytelling machine is being hijacked. It's happening on your phone, on your TV, and even in conversations with people you trust. Psychological tricks, perfected over decades, are being used by the media, by politicians, and by influencers to plant ideas in your head. Ideas you will swear are true because your brain helped write the story. The issue isn't just fake news anymore. The real problem is that we've become the unknowing collaborators in our own deception. This isn't random. It's a calculated strategy, and it works because it targets the very core of how we understand the world, through emotion and story. When you're lost in a great story, a psychological phenomenon called transportation takes over. We drop our analytical guard, we stop asking questions, and we start feeling. That emotional connection makes us far more likely to swallow the story's ideas as truth, even if they're totally bogus. And today's information landscape is a supercharged engine for this. Social media platforms aren't built to give you the truth. They're built to keep you engaged. Their algorithms have figured out that the best way to keep you scrolling is to hit you with a jolt of strong emotion. Outrage, anger, fear, those are the feelings that get the most clicks, shares, and comments. Think about it. A headline like "New Study Shows Nuanced Economic Trend" will get completely ignored. But a headline that screams, "They're destroying our economy and stealing your future," that goes viral. Why? Because the second one tells a story. It gives you villains, it raises the stakes, and it triggers an emotional reaction that lets you bypass your own critical thinking. This system creates echo chambers, where the same beliefs are bounced around and amplified until they feel like undeniable facts. This is where misinformation doesn't just survive, it thrives. Sharing a specific story becomes a social signal. It's a way of saying, "I'm one of you. We're on the same team." Our brains crave that validation, and these platforms have figured out how to turn that deep-seated need into profit. If this has made you pause and think, share it. Misinformation spreads because people stay quiet. Share something smarter. And at the top of this whole pyramid, you've got the super spreaders, the influencers and media figures with massive power to shape these stories. Some do it for politics or ideology. Others are just in it for the money, weaving lies into their content to sell you everything from diet pills to bogus financial advice. They build trust with personal, relatable stories that make you feel like you know them, which makes the poison they're feeding you that much more believable and dangerous. So, how do you fight back? You can't just rewire your brain, but you can learn the playbook they're using against you. It's like learning the secret to a magic trick. Once you see how it's done, you can admire the skill without getting fooled. Let's start with the big one, confirmation bias. This is our brain's natural tendency to hunt for information that confirms what we already believe. If you think a certain public figure is a genius, you'll click on, remember, and share every single story that backs that up, while automatically dismissing anything that contradicts it. It's not that you're being dishonest, your brain is just taking a shortcut to reinforce what it thinks it already knows. Social media algorithms feed this by giving you a non-stop diet of content you're already inclined to agree with, creating a feedback loop where your opinion starts to feel like objective reality. Next up, the framing effect. You can present the exact same facts in completely different ways, and the frame you use will totally change how people feel. A cancer treatment with a 90% survival rate sounds amazing, but a treatment with a 10% mortality rate sounds terrifying. Same data, totally different emotional response. People who spread misinformation are masters of this. They'll frame a protest as a righteous stand for freedom or a violent mob of thugs to manipulate your opinion before you've even seen the facts. Then we have the sneaky illusory truth effect. This one is frighteningly simple. The more you hear something, the more true it feels. Repetition creates a feeling of familiarity, and our brains mistake that feeling for factual accuracy. It doesn't matter if the claim is absurd at first. A lie told once is just a lie. A lie told 1,000 times starts to feel like the truth. This is why you see the same talking points, memes, and fake images repeated over and over again on different platforms. Each time you see it, your skepticism wears down just a little bit more. And finally, let's talk about herding bias. This is our instinct to believe something is right if a lot of other people believe it. On social media, this is weaponized with things like likes, shares, and view counts. A post with thousands of engagements just feels more credible than one with only a handful, no matter what it actually says. We see the digital crowd, and our instincts tell us to follow it, assuming the herd knows where it's going. It's social proof on steroids, and it's a huge driver of fake narratives. If you're finding this breakdown of psychological tricks useful, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this kind of thinking is valuable, and it helps more people find this video and start building their own mental armor. Knowing the tricks is half the battle. Now, let's get into the practical things you can do to build a more resilient mind. The first, and maybe the most powerful strategy, is called prebunking, or psychological inoculation. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. Just like a vaccine exposes your body to a weak version of a virus to build immunity, prebunking exposes your mind to a weakened form of misinformation before you encounter the real thing. Studies show that just a few minutes of learning about manipulation techniques like scapegoating or using emotional language can make you much more resistant to them in the future. You're essentially training your brain to spot the methods of deception, not just trying to debunk every single lie you see. The second strategy is incredibly simple but so effective: the power of the pause. Our emotional brain reacts in a split second. Our critical thinking needs more time to boot up. So when you see a post or a headline that makes your blood boil or makes you want to cheer, that's your signal. It means your emotional system is in the driver's seat. So in that moment, just pause. Before you comment, before you react, and especially before you share, just stop. Take a breath. That tiny gap between the trigger and your response is where your rational mind gets a chance to catch up and ask some basic questions. Who's telling me this? What do they want me to feel? And where's the proof? This leads right into the third strategy. Verify, don't just vibe. We often decide if a story is credible based on how much it resonates with us or how much we like the person telling it. A charismatic influencer can tell a story that feels true, but feelings aren't facts. Get into the habit of looking past the storyteller and checking the source. It's a skill called lateral reading. Don't just stay on the page analyzing the post. Open a new tab. Search for the author, the publication, or the claims being made. See what other independent sources are saying. 30 seconds of verification can save you from days of believing a lie. Finally, we need to try and shift our focus from being right to seeking the truth. Our deep-seated need to belong to a group can often overpower our desire for accuracy. We share things to show what team we're on, not always because we've checked if they're true. To fight this, we have to build a personal culture of curiosity and intellectual humility. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to change your mind when you get new information. In fact, that's a sign of strength, not weakness. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's an amazing, ancient machine that's trying its best to make sense of a ridiculously complex world with the mental shortcuts it's always used. The trouble is, those shortcuts are now being exploited on an industrial scale. That feeling of certainty, the crystal clear story in your head, that is the real target of modern misinformation. They aren't just trying to sell you a single lie. They're trying to hijack your own mind and get it to create the lie for you. They give you the frame, the emotional trigger, and the social pressure, and your brain does the rest, filling in the blanks until their lie feels like your own personal truth. But you are not powerless in this. By understanding the psychology they're using against you, by recognizing the biases we all have, and by practicing a little more mindfulness when you're online, you can take back control. You can turn your brain from an unknowing accomplice into your best line of defense. Because the ultimate defense against a lie isn't just knowing the truth, it's understanding why you were so ready to believe the lie in the first place. What's the most convincing lie or piece of misinformation you've seen lately? Drop it in the comments below, and let's try to break down the psychological tricks, the framing, the emotional appeals, the biases that made it so powerful. And if you want to keep learning how to think smarter, not harder, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next.
Are you a soul of the Renaissance spirit? The wise learn from their faults, the wiser live through them. Ex erroribus veritas, ex sapientia, inflamas cadimus, et evolutionem renascimur.
Thank you for watching. This is the Renaissance Spirit, a channel dedicated to a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Here, we explore history, politics, culture, religion, personal growth, and the lessons of civilization, from ancient Rome to modern America. We believe the Renaissance isn't over. It's waiting, inside anyone who chooses curiosity, courage, and conscience. Living the Renaissance spirit means engaging with history as a dialogue, not just with the past, but with the future. Our work is a message to posterity. Will they inherit justice and wisdom, or wonder why we failed to act? Subscribe, turn on notifications, and take our Renaissance quiz to see if you carry the spark. Because if history is collapsing in real time, someone has to narrate the fall and plant the seeds of what comes after. Live the Renaissance spirit. History has not died, only our understanding of it